The Tale of Pigling by Beatrix Potter. Read by the Storyteller. Once upon a time, there was an old pig called Aunt Petite Wolf. She had each of a family, 4 little girl pigs called Crosspatch, Suck Suck, Yuck Yuck, and Spot, and 4 little boy pigs called Alexander, Pigling Bland, Chin Chin, and Stumpy. Stumpy had had an accident to his tail. The 8 little pigs had very fine appetites. Yes, yes, yes. They eat, and indeed they do eat, said Aunt Petite Wolf, looking at her family with pride. Suddenly, there were awful squeals. Alexander had squeezed inside the hoops of the pig trough and stuck. Aunt Petite Wolf and I dragged him out by the hind legs. Chin Chin was already in disgrace. It was washing day, and he had eaten a piece of soup, and presently in a basket of clean clothes. We followed another dirty little pig. Chat, tat, tat. Whichever is this? Grunted our Petite Wolf. All the pig family are pink, or pink with black spots, but this pig child was smutty black all over. When it had been popped into a tub, it proved to be Yuck Yuck. I went into the garden. There I found Crosspatch and Suck Suck rooting up carrots. I whipped them myself and let them out by the earth. Crosspatch tried to bite me. Aunt Petite Wolf, you are a worthy person, but your family is not well brought up. Every one of them has been in mischief. Except Spot and Pigling Bland. Yes, yes, sighed Aunt Petite Wolf. And they drink bucketfuls of milk. I shall have to get another cow. Good little Spot shall stay to do the housework, but the others must cool. 4 little boy pigs and 4 little girl pigs are too many altogether. Yes, 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 sighed Aunt Petite Wolf. There will be more to eat without them. So Chin Chin and Suck Suck went away in a wheelbarrow, and Stumpy, Yock, Yock, and Crosspatch whoop away in a cart, and the other two little boy pigs, Pigling Bland and Alexander, went to market. We brushed the coops, we culled the tails, and washed the little faces, and wished them goodbye in the yard. Our petite hoops wiped her eyes with a large pocket handkerchief. Then she wiped Pigling Bland's nose, and said to her, when she wiped Alexander's nose, and said to her, then she passed them the handkerchief to Spot. Our petite hoops sighed and grunted, and addressed those little pigs as follows. Oh, Pigling Bland, son, Pigling Bland, you must go to market. Take your brother Alexander by the hand. Mind your Sunday clothes, and remember to pull your nose. Our petite hoops passed all the handkerchief again. Beware of traps, hen moves, bacon and eggs. Always walk upon your hind legs. Pigling Bland, who was a sedate little pig, looked solemnly at his mother, at her trickled Dora's cheek. Our petite hoops to the other. Oh, son Alexander, take the hand, giggled Alexander. Take the hand of your brother Pigling Bland. You must go to market, mind, interrupted Alexander again. Oh, you put me out, said our petite hoops. Observe signposts and milestones. Do not gobble herring booths, and remember, said I impressively, if you once cross the country boundary, you cannot come back. Alexander, you're not attending. There were 2 licenses permitting 2 pigs to go to market in Lancashire. Attend, Alexander. I have had no end of trouble in getting these papers from the policeman. Pigling Bland listened briefly. Alexander was hopelessly volatile. I pinned the papers for safety inside their waistcoat pockets. Our petite hoops gave 2 each a little bundle, and 8 conversation peppermints with a pulpit moral sentiments in scoops of paper. Then they started. Pigling Bland and Alexander trotted along steadily for a mile. At least Pigling Bland did. Alexander made no half as long, again by skipping from side to side. He darted about and pinched his brother, singing, this pig went to market, this pig stayed too, this pig had a bit of meat. Let's see what they've given us for dinner, Pigling. Pigling Bland and Alexander said Doll, and untied the bundles. Alexander gobbled up his dinner in no time, and had already eaten his whole peppermints. "Give me some of yours, please, Pigling." "But I wish to preserve them for emergencies," said Pigling doubtfully. Alexander went into squeals of laughter. Then he pricked Pigling with the pin that had Father's pig paper, and when Pigling slapped him, he dropped the pin and tried to take Pigling's pin, and the papers got mixed up. Pigling reproved Alexander, but presently they made it up again and trotted away together, singing, "Tom, Tom, the piper's son, stole the pig, and away he ran, but all the tool that he could play was through the hills and far away." "What's that, young sirs? Stole a pig?" "Where are your licenses?" said the policeman. He'd nearly run against him or a corner. Pigling pulled out his paper. Alexander, after fumbling, handed Hooper something scrumptious. Two, 1.5 conversation speeches at 3 farthings. What's this? This ain't a license." Alexander's nose lengthened visibly. He had lost it. "I had one. Indeed I had, Mr. Policeman." "It's not likely they let you start without. I'm passing the farm. You may walk with me." "Can I come back too?" inquired Pigling. "I see no reason, young sir. Your paper's all right." Pigling did not like hooting on the loop, and it was beginning to rain. But it is unwise to argue with the police. He gave his brother a peppermint and watched him out of sight. To conclude the adventures of Alexander, the policeman sauntered up to the house about tea time, followed by a damp, subdued little pig. I disapprove of Alexander in the neighborhood. He did fairly well when he had settled down. Pigling went on alone, dejectedly. He came to crossroads and a signpost. To Market Hall, 5 miles. Over the hills, 4 miles. To Pettit's farm, 3 miles. Pigling was shocked. There was little hope of sleeping in Market Hall, and tomorrow was the hiring fair. It was deplorable to think how much time had been wasted by the frivolity of Alexander. He clapped wistfully along the route toward the hills, and then set off walking obediently the other way, buttoning up his coat against the rain. He had never wanted to cool, and the idea of standing all by himself in a crowded market to be stared at, pushed and held by some big stage father was very disagreeable. I wish I could have a little garden and cool potatoes, said Pigling bland. He put his cool hand in his pocket and felt his paper. He put his other hand in his other pocket and felt another paper. Alexander, Pigling squealed, then ran back frantically, whooping, take Alexander and the policeman. He took a wrong turn, several wrong turns, and was quite lost. It grew dark, the wind whistled, the trees creaked and cooled. Pigling bland became frightened and cried, "Wee, I can't find my way home." After an hour's wandering, he got out of the wood. The moon shone through the clouds, and Pigling bland saw a country that was home to him, who crossed a moor. Blue was a wide valley with a river twinkling in the moonlight, and beyond in misty distance lay the hills. He saw a small wooden hut, made his way to it, and crept inside. "I am afraid it is a hen house, but what can I do?" said Pigling bland. He went wet and cool and quite tired out. Bacon and eggs, clucked a hen on a purl. "Trap, trap, trap, cackle, cackle, cackle," squeaked the disturbed cockerel. "To market, jig-a-jig, jig," clucked a bulky white hen roosting next to it. Pigling bland, much alarmed, determined to leave at daybreak. In the meantime, he and the hens fell asleep. In less than an hour, they were all awakened. The whooper, Mr. Peter Thomas Piperson, came with a lantern and a hamper to catch 6 fowls to take to market in the morning. He grabbed the white hen roosting next to the cock. Then his eye fell upon Pigling bland, squeezed up in a corner. He made a singular remark. "Hello, there's another," seized Pigling by the scruff at the neck and dropped him into the hamper. Then he dropped in 5 more dirty, kicking, cackling hens. Upon the top of Pigling bland, the hamper containing 6 fowls and a young pig was lightweight. He was taken downhill unsteadily with jerks. Pigling, all nervous, scratched to pieces, contrived to hide the papers and peppermints inside his clothes. At last the hamper was bumped out upon a kitchen floor. The lid was hooped, and Pigling was lifted out. He looked up, blinking, and saw an offensively ugly, elderly man grinning from ear to ear. "This one's come of himself, whatever," said Mr. Pipeson, turning Pigling's pockets inside out. He pushed the hamper into a corner, threw a sack hooped to keep the hands quiet, put a pot on the fire, and unleashed his boots. Pigling Bland drew forward a copper stool and sat on the edge of it, shyly warming his hands. Mr. Pipeson pulled off a boot and threw it against the wainscot at the further end of the kitchen. There was a smothered noise. "Shut up!" said Mr. Pipeson. Pigling Bland warmed his hands and eyed him. Mr. Pipeson pulled off the other boot and flung it after the first. There was again a curious noise. "Be quiet, will you?" said Mr. Pipeson. Pigling Bland sat on the heavy edge of the copper stool. Mr. Pipeson fetched a meal from a chest and made porridge. It seemed to Pigling that something at the further end of the kitchen was taking a suppressed interest in the cooking, but he was too hungry to be troubled by noises. Mr. Pipeson poured out 3 platefuls for himself, for Pigling, and a third. After glaring at Pigling, he put away with much scuffling and locked up. Pigling Bland ate his supper discreetly. After supper, Mr. Pipeson consulted an almanac and felt Pigling's ribs. It was too late in the season for currying bacon, and he grudged his meal. Besides, the hens had seen this pig. He looked at the small means of a flitch, and then looked undecidedly at Pigling. "You may sleep on the rug," said Mr. Peter Thomas Pipeson. Pigling Bland slept like a top. In the morning, Mr. Pipeson made more porridge. The weather was warmer. He looked to see how much meal was left in the chest, and seemed dissatisfied. "You're likely to be moving on again," said he to Pigling Bland. Before Pigling Bland could reply, a neighbour who was giving Mr. Pipeson and the hens a lift whistled from the gate. Mr. Pipeson hurried out with the hamper, enjoining Pigling to shut the door behind him, and not meddle with naught, or "I'll come back and skin you," said Mr. Pipeson. It crossed Pigling's mind that if he had asked for a lift too, he might still have been in time for market, but he distrusted Peter Thomas. After finishing breakfast at his leisure, Pigling had a look round the cottage. Everything was locked up. He found some potato peelings in a bucket in the back kitchen. Pigling ate the peel and washed up the porridge plates in the bucket. He sang while he worked. Tom, with his pipe, made such a noise, he called up all the girls and boys, and we all ran to her in play, whoop of the hills and far away. Suddenly, a little smothered voice chimed in. Whoop of the hills, and a great way off, the wind shall pull my top knot off. Pigling Bland put down the plate which she was wiping and listened. After a long pause, Pigling went on tiptoe and peeped through the door into the front kitchen. There was Rupert there. After another pause, Pigling pulled the door of the locked cupboard and snuffed at the keyhole. It was quite quiet. And after another long pause, Pigling pushed a peppermint under the door. It was sucked in immediately. In the course of the day, Pigling pushed in all his remaining 6 peppermints. When Mr. Pipeson returned, he found Pigling sitting before the fire. He had brushed up the hearth and put on the pot to boil. The meal was not get-atable. Mr. Pipeson was very affable. He slapped Pigling on the back, made lots of porridge, and forgot to lock the meal chest. He did lock the cupboard door, but without properly shutting it. He went to bed early and took Pigling upon a call to disturb him next day before 12 o'clock. Pigling Bland sat by the fire eating his supper. All at once, at his elbow, a little voice spoke. "My name is Pigwig. Make me more porridge, please." Pigling Bland jumped and looked round. A perfectly lovely little black Berkshire pig stood smiling beside him. She had twinkly little screwed-up eyes, a double chin, and a short tail of nose. She pointed at Pigling's plate. He hastily gave it to her and fled to the meal chest. "How did you come here?" asked Pigling Bland. "Stolen," replied Pigwig, with her mouth full. Pigling helped himself to meal without scruple. "What for?" "Bacon hands," replied Pigwig cheerfully. "Why on earth did you run away?" exclaimed the horrified Pigling. "I shall, after supper," said Pigwig decidedly. Pigling Bland made more porridge and watched her shyly. She finished a second plate, got up and looked about her, as though she were gonna start. "You can't cook in the dark," said Pigling Bland. Pickwick looked anxious. "Do you know your way by daylight? I hope we can see this little white house from the hills across the river. Which way are you going, Mr. Pig?" "To market. I have 2 pig papers. I might take you to the bridge, if you have no objection," said Pigling, much confused, and sitting on the edge of his copper stool. Pickwick's gratitude was such, and she asked so many questions, that it became embarrassing to Pigling Bland. He was obliged to shut his eyes and pretended to sleep. She became quiet, and there was a smell of peppermint. "I thought you had eaten them," said Pigling, waking up suddenly. "Only the corners," replied Pickwick, studying the sentiments with much interest by the firelight. "I wish you wouldn't. He might smell them through the ceiling," said the alarmed Pigling. Pickwick put back the sticky peppermints in her pocket. "Seeing something?" she demanded. "I'm sorry, I have a toothache," said Pigling, much dismayed. "Then I shall sing," replied Pickwick. "You will not mind if I say Eddy Tiddy? I've forgotten some of the words." Pigling Bland made no objection. He sat with his eyes half shut and watched her. She wagged her head and rocked about, clapping time and singing in a sweet, little grunty voice. "A funny old mother pig lived in a sty, and 3 little pigs had she. To it to umph, umph, umph. And the little pig said, wee wee." She sang successfully for 3 or 4 verses. At every verse her head nodded a little lower, and her little twinkly eyes cooled up. "Those 3 little pigs go peaky and lean they might very well be, for somehow they couldn't say umph, 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 and they wouldn't say wee, 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 for somehow they couldn't say." Pickwick's head bobbed over and over until she over a little ball fast asleep on the hearth rug. Pigling Bland on tiptoe covered her up with an antimacassar. He was afraid to go to sleep himself for the rest of the night. He sat, listening to the chirping of the crickets and to the snores of Mr. Pipeson overhead. Early in the morning, between dark and daylight, Pigling tied up his little Bungle and woke up Pigwig. She was excited and half frightened. But it's still dark. How can we find our way? The cock has crew. We must start before the hens come out. We might shout for Mr. Pipeson. Pigwig sat down again and commenced to cry. Come away, Pigwig. We can see when we get used to it. Come. I can hear them clucking. Pigling had never said sir to a hen in his life. Being peaceable. Oh, he remembered the hamper. He opened the house door quietly and shut it after them. There was a garden in the neighbourhood of Mr. Pipeson's, was all scratched up by fowls. They slipped away hand in hand across an untidy field to the wood. The sun rose while they were crossing the moor, a dazzle of light over the tops of the hills. The sun crept down the slopes into the peaceful green valleys, where little white cottages nestled in gardens and orchards. That's Westmoreland, said Pigwig. She dropped Pigling's hand and commenced to dance, singing. Tom, Tom, the piper's son, slew the pig and away he ran. All the tune that he could play was over the hills and far away. Come, Pigwig, we must get to the bridge before folks are stirring. Why do you want to go to market, Pigling? Inquired Pigwig presently. I want to cook potatoes. Have a peppermint? Said Pigwig. Pigling Bland refused quite crossly. Does your tofu hurt? Inquired Pigwig. Pigling Bland grunted. Pigwig ate the peppermint herself and followed the opposite side of the room. Pigwig, keep under the wall. There's a man plowing. Pigwig crossed over. He hurried down the hill towards the country boundary. Suddenly Pigling stopped. He heard wheels swooping, jogging up the road. Below them came a tradesman's cart. The reins flapped on the horse's back. The grocer was reading a newspaper. Take that peppermint out of your mouth, Pigwig. We may have to run. Don't say a word. Leave it to me. And in sight of the bridge, said poor Pigling, nearly crying. He began to walk frightfully lame, holding Pigwig's arm. The grocer, intent upon his newspaper, might have passed them if his horse had not shied and snorted. He pulled the cart crossways and held Bowler's whip. Where are you going to? Pigling Bland stared at him vacantly. "Are you deaf? Are you going to market?" Pigling nodded smoothly. "I thought as much. It was yesterday. Show me your license." Pigling stared at the off-hind show of the cruiser's horse, which had picked up a stool. The cruiser flicked his whip. "Papers? Pig license?" Pigling fumbled in all his pockets and handed up the papers. The cruiser read them, but still seemed dissatisfied. "This her pig is a young lady. Is her name Alexandra?" Pigling opened her mouth and shut it again. Pigling coughed asthmatically. The cruiser ran his finger down the advertisement column of his horse paper. "Lost stolen or strayed, 10 shillings reward." He looked suspiciously at Pigwig. Then he stood up in the trap and whistled for the ploughman. "You wait here while I drive on and speak to him," said the cruiser. Gathering up the reins, he knew that pigs are slippery but surely such a lame pig could never run. "Not yet, Pigwig. He will look back." The cruiser listened. He saw the 2 pigs stock still in the middle of the road. Then he looked over at his horse's heels. It was Lemos. The stool took some time to knock out after he got to the ploughman. "Oh, Pigwig, no!" said Pigling Bland. Never did any pigs run as these pigs ran. He raced and squealed and pelted down the long white hill towards the bridge. Little fat Pigwig's petticoats fluttered, and her feet went pitter-patter, pitter-patter, as she bounced and jumped. They ran and they ran and they ran down the hill and across a short cut on level green turf at the bottom between pebble beds and rushes. They came to the river, they came to the bridge, they crossed it hand in hand. Then, over the hills and far away, she stopped with Pigling Bland